We've had aquatic, marine, ozonic blue fragrances over the last 20 plus years. That particular genre became really famous in the 90s with the introduction of 𝗥𝗿𝗄𝗏 back in 1996. Fast forward to 2010, that particular genre was revitalized by the brand Chanel with the introduction of Bleu de Chanel. The elixir fever started in 2021 with the release of Dior Sauvage Elixir. Every single brand followed suit, not with the blue elixir release per se, but with an elixir release within their fragrance portfolio. Today we're going to talk about the newest elixir in the market, of course from the house of Yves Saint Laurent, which also followed suit from Chanel and from Dior with the blue revival of fragrances. They've also done a ton of different flankers, this being their latest one, the elixir. Let's see if this one's any good, how it compares with other blue scents, and how it compares with other elixir fragrances of the genre. So let's get into it. Welcome back to another video. This is Max Forte. If you guys love to make a great and lasting impression, smelling good is a great way to do that. Today we're talking about the newest from Yves Saint Laurent, of course, Y Elixir. Now, before we hop into how the fragrance smells, I want to tell you that this is the 8th flanker from this particular line of fragrances from Yves Saint Laurent. They've had eau de toilettes, les parfums. There has been such many different iterations of the Y, particular profile, and I talked about them here on the channel, of course, over the years. So since 2017, this is the 8th flanker. Now the elixir following suit to Dior, and of course Chanel that started the whole blue revival back in 2010. Packaging here of this fragrance is going to be very minimalist. You have the dark blue with silver appointments and black. It says Yves Saint Laurent right there, elixir. This is going to be a parfum concentrate elixir, which is going to normally be between 20 and 40% in concentration. I want to say this particular concentration is going to be right around the 20% mark of fragrance compound. Having said that, this is available in one size, only 60 ml, which is the size you see here. The bottle is going to be see-through, this metallic blue with black and silver appointments. Looks quite nice. Again, only available in 60 ml, and it's going to run you $180 USD. Let's take that with a grain of salt for now. Before we talk about if this is worth $180, let me talk about what we get from this scent. Sprayers are great, really nice mist. You can control it depending on how hard you push the atomizer. The cap is not going to be magnetic, but it does look nice. The sprayer is amazing. The introduction of this fragrance, what I get from the top, it's going to be this very pleasant, fruity apple. Now, when you look at the note breakdown, they only give you 4 notes. No matter what website you go to, they're going to give you 4 notes and 4 notes only. They're going to talk about lavender, they're going to talk about geranium, incense, and oud. And to be honest with you, from the first blast here, especially if you smell it on blotter here on the paper tester strip, it's going to be a very fruity, aromatic, and woody kind of a scent. Not much spices going on here, not much oud at all. Incense, forget about it. This is not going to be a smoky fragrance. However, it is the most bodied, I'd say mature or made to measure of all the different Ys. It's still going to retain a little bit of that aldehydic, fruity ambroxan and tonka vibe that you get with all the Ys. The opening is going to be money. It's going to be fire. You're going to smell the opening here, especially if you smell it on the blotter. You're going to want a bottle. That's simple. So I'm going to urge you, don't just go by the paper. Make sure you spray it on your body, wear it on skin, make sure you love it. That's what I did for the past few days. That's why I'm coming back to you with the review. This on skin will change. That initial blast of the hint of ginger with all the fruitiness that I talked about, the grapefruit, the bergamot, and the gorgeous, sweet, fruity apple will go away quicker on skin than it does on the blotter. So definitely apply on skin to get the full development and transition of this fragrance. The nose behind this particular release here, elixir, is going to be Dominique Ropion, master perfumer, which is actually the nose behind all of the other Ys in this line, for that matter, up to this point. If it's going to have other collaborations of different noses as the future progresses, only time will tell. But for now, Dominique Ropion is the nose. And if you compare this to other blue fragrances out there, it's going to have that aquatic, blue, marine, not so much marine, but blue, aquatic, and ozonic feel. You do have this sea-like feel to the fragrance, more ozonic than anything. You have this airy, aldehydic vibe to the fragrance. On skin, it gets a little different. The lavender will definitely pop on skin. I have this as a dry down today. I sprayed my clothes and my actual skin, my body. And the development of the fragrance, the heart, you do get more of the geranium, more of an herbal component, almost that green tinge that I said was going to be very popular this year, as it has been popular in the last couple of years. The green herbal components, clary sage, lavender, very aromatic. The heart here will definitely pop with that herbal green lavender aromatic kind of transition or profile, if you will. That the fruitiness will stay here, but more in the background. The green herbal component will definitely pop at this stage in the game of transition on skin, at least on my skin. So looking at all the other elixirs, especially when you talk about the blue ones, Chanel does not have a Bleu de Chanel elixir at this point. They might come out with one, we don't know at this point, but so far, what we have to compare it to would be Dior's Sauvage Elixir. And comparing the two, Dior's elixir is going to have a heavier lavender, a lot more resins, tons of spices. It's going to be somewhat challenging. A lot of people do not gravitate towards that fragrance. They think it's too much, it's overbearing, too powerful. Elixir from Dior is definitely going to be more challenging, harder to wear for a lot of people because it's going to be spicier, perhaps more old school-like. It's going to borrow elements from a lot of the old fougères, oak moss, vetiver, a lot of those darker, greener components. So that one, more resinous, smokier, spicier. It's going to be challenging for a lot of youngsters out there. This one here, not much. This is going to be fruitier, more aromatic, tons of woods, the Ambroxan and Tonka combination here in the base, perhaps a hint of lavender with the vanilla as well, making this even sweeter and easier on the nose, easier to wear, more pleasant, more inviting, better for compliments, if you will. Although Elixir is a great one from Sauvage, don't get me wrong, and I do favor that fragrance, to be honest with you, but this one here, very nice, a very nice change here from Yves Saint Laurent on the Y collection, evolving the fragrance, if you will, definitely more mature or made to measure or more elegant, more sophisticated with these components that they added here. So definitely a step up. So the heart here, more lavender, more herbal components, definitely more refined take on the Y profile, if you will. So as you get to the dry down phase, the last, after the first 45 minutes, when you approach the hour mark, I couldn't really find the oud or the incense that they talk about, and I tried. Trust me, I wore this a few times. The incense was never prominent, the oud was never prominent. You really have to get your nose in there to get the dustings of the oud/incense. It's very negligible, if any. So, they did mention that in the note breakdown, perhaps to make you interested, perhaps, wanting to emphasize that this is going to be a stronger, darker, more powerful scent. Perhaps, who knows, they're going to come out with a, Y oud or variations thereof. Again, only future will tell. But the oud, along with the incense that they talk about, is hardly noticeable in this fragrance, I'll be honest with you. It's more of a woody aromatic scent with some spiciness, dustlings in this fragrance, but really the star players are going to be your fruity components up top, which are predominant and going to be riding the whole compositions from beginning to end. That gorgeous apple with the bergamots, the clary sage, the hint of ginger. That's the start group or combination of notes in this fragrance, along with the lavender, the clary sage, the green aromatic component, with the woods in the base, perhaps cedar, patchouli, and a little bit of a vetiver as well, which contributes to a tiny bit of smokiness, but not as an incense smoke or anything like that. It's going to be very negligible at best. Definitely get an ozonic vibe to the fragrance, along with that Ambroxan, Tonka, vanilla, and patchouli as the fragrance dries down, and perhaps is what you're going to be left off with. The blue fragrance, ozonic, with hints of green herbal components, and that sweet Ambroxan, Tonka, dry down, sweet, and very pleasant. 3 words that I would use to summarize how this smells on me, on skin, and how I think people will perceive this fragrance. This is pleasant, elegant, and definitely very aromatic. So I like to do this for you guys in every video to talk about what the fragrance smells like or reminds me of. So really, it's going to have the DNA and the scent profile of all the Ys that you're familiar with. And to be honest with you, my favorite from this Y collection is going to be the Eau Fraiche, which I love the take that they did on that fragrance. So it's definitely my favorite. And this one here, a close second. It's gonna grow on me the more I wear. I'm really digging this one so far. It's quite a nice release for this year. Not great, but quite nice. And again, the more I wear it, the more I'm seem to be liking it. But in comparison, I'd like to say that this is like a distant cousin of Dior's Sauvage Elixir, meaning it has the lavender, it's got the green herbal components, the spices, but it does not have the resins, and it's not as dark and powerful as Sauvage's iteration of their elixir. This is going to be a lot easier to wear, fruitier, more youthful, more playful, perhaps the most mature of the whole Y collection, but still not as powerful, as mature as the elixir from Dior. But quite a nice one in comparison. So like if you're looking for something a little bit more tamed and easier to wear, you're gonna appreciate this one. Seasons, occasions, and settings, I think this is great for everyday signature scent, work scent, going out. This is very versatile. You can potentially rock this every day, all the time. If I had this in my rotation, perhaps I would most likely wear this for a little dressier, not over the top dressier, but a little dressier situations and occasions, perhaps dates, situations where I really want to put my best foot forward. Not that this is extremely different than what's out there. It's not gonna be something that you're gonna smell like, wow, this is, you know, a very unique fragrance. Not at all. But the combination of notes, how elegant this is, I think a little dressier situation, you know, situations that you really wanna put your best foot forward, this will be a great one if you don't have something like this in your collection already. But when you compare this to a lot of blue, ozonic, aromatic scents, this perhaps could be redundant or even a pass for you, but definitely worth checking out. I think from the whole Y collection, like I said, Eau Fraiche and this one are definitely my two favorites. Le Parfum, a close third. And to be honest with you, this one has the most resemblances with Le Parfum from 2021, I believe, if you want to compare it to the actual Y collection. It's closer to that fragrance than anything else. Performance for Y L'Elixir was actually quite good. It's going to give you a really nice scent bubble or scent, you know, a sillage, scent trail, especially if you spray your clothes like myself. It's going to really stay with you, and as you walk around and move about, people will definitely get whiffs, and they're going to like the way you smell. I'm going to tell you, you're going to get compliments. Now, it projects for about 1.5 to 2 hours, so the projection is actually really nice, and the longevity on skin will be about 6 to 7 hours. On clothes, you're gonna get 8 to 10. So not bad, I'd say, you know, a little above average, if you will, from what's out there in the designer realm of things. So good one when it comes to performance. Final thoughts on Yves Saint Laurent's Y L'Elixir. Is this the best release of designers of 2024? I hope not. I hope we have better, more modern take on different things, or perhaps some unique things that we haven't really seen much in the designer, you know, side of things. If you want to see uniqueness and something that's really groundbreaking, you kind of have to go niche. So definitely, by no way, shape, or form the best designer release so far this year, but quite a good one. You know, I haven't tried much yet. There hasn't been much things that I've tried so far that really impressed me, but I'd put this up there. You know, it's definitely one of the best releases of the year. If it's, you know, something like this you're looking for, I think they did a good job. It's not great. I'm not in love with it, but it's definitely a good one. And like I said, from the Y line, even though I'm not a big fan, this has less aldehydes than a lot of the other Ys from the line. So I do enjoy this one. This is something that I would probably wear more than any other Ys from the line, with exception of the Eau Fraiche, that I do like that on spring and late summer. But this one here, I think it's going to perhaps become my favorite from the Y. So it's saying a lot. I think the thing that this has going for it negatively is going to be the price point. We're talking about $180 with tax, close to $200 for 60 ml. I definitely think it's not worth that much. So what I would suggest to you guys is two things. Number one, you could definitely try it before you buy it. You can head over to perfume.com, get yourself a decant, wear on skin, make sure you love it before you actually cough the big dough to get a full bottle. So go to perfume.com, use my code MAX12, get yourself a decant, rock it, make sure you love it before you find yourself a brand new bottle. Because I think $200, I think you should try it before you buy. If you have a store next to you, to your house, that you can actually get the bottle and spray it a little bit on skin and walk around and make sure you love it, I would do that as well. If you want more experience with the scent, then get a decant from perfume.com, or better yet, wait for it to hit, you know, discounters, which I'm sure it will very soon. This was talked about to be released, I want to say 2.5, 3 weeks ago, and I already had it, you know, at my local Macy's. So I think it's going to be readily available at discounters sooner rather than later. So that could be a good option. However, I'm not going to tell you that this is going to be 50, 60, 70% off retail at your discounter right away. It might take a little time for it to go down. So right off the bat, you're looking at maybe 20 to 30% off retail. So it's still a little high, but you know, elixirs are normally fetching a little bit more money, and this one here, no different. Good release, not great, like it, don't love it, but definitely worth checking out. That's my final take on Yves Saint Laurent's Y L'Elixir. Let me know your thoughts below. Have you tried this one? Are you looking forward to trying it? What is your favorite from the whole Y collection? Better yet, what is your favorite blue scent out there? From all this blue different companies and different variations of the genre, what would be your top favorite blue scents? Please drop them down below. And of course, guys, thank you so much for your support. If you do enjoy the channel, don't forget to leave me a like, subscribe for more, and if you want to see these videos often, click on the little bell so you get these videos straight into your feed. I do, you know, publish videos here once or twice a week. Thank you so much, everyone, for your support, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.